Meat City, baby.
Hello and welcome back to Meat City Gaming. JD here with another Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes video, and today we're covering the legendary ship event, Flight of the Falcon. You can earn shards of Han Solo's Millennium Falcon, the original trilogy Millennium Falcon in this event, and it is really, really good. It makes the Rebel team the absolute meta, and any other team that's not the Rebels with a Han's Millennium Falcon can't really beat it if you have it geared up properly. So get it if you can, even at 5 stars, it's really good. Today we're covering tiers 1 through 6. I have the 6-star bounty hunter ships unlocked, but not the 7-star, and it's going to take a little bit longer to get those 7-star ships thanks to the reduction from the daily attempts from 8 attempts a day to 5. Yes, we have not forgotten, and we won't forget anytime soon. But moving on beyond all the drama and nonsense, we're just going to focus on this legendary event today. And it does require, as I mentioned earlier, the bounty hunter ships at the star level for which you're trying to unlock the Millennium Falcon. So this ship unlocks at 5 stars. So in order to unlock it and to participate in the tier 5 event, which is where you'll earn enough shards to unlock the Millennium Falcon, you need all 4 bounty hunter ships to 5 stars. That's Slave 1 for Boba Fett, the Hounds Tooth for Bossk, IG-2000 for IG-88, and the Xanadu Blood for Cad Bane. They're good ships, they have good synergy. Obviously the Hounds Tooth is, other than the Millennium Falcon, and maybe even with the Millennium Falcon, it's the best first or second ship in the game. It's the best tank. You need the Hounds Tooth. It's crazy, crazy good. So if you have it, you should be gearing it up. Bossk is really good too. So there's no need to punish yourself. It's not like these ships are bad. The Geo Trio, which was really good for a long time, but they weren't good in arena, in the characters. It was only good in ships. These guys, they have their use throughout the game, so they're worth the investment. So the approach that I'm going to take today, I'm not going to walk through every single tier, especially tiers 1 through 4. They're very straightforward. What I wanted to do was to kind of set a challenge for myself. I like to push the limits. I like to do things with the minimum gear level possible. So in the spirit of that, what I wanted to do is see if I could beat the event with only 3 of the bounty hunter ships. And of course, when I say with 3, I mean with the 4th one. You must have it at the star level, and you must even have it in your lineup. I thought I could go into one of these battles with just the 3 ships selected and leave my reinforcements blank, leave that 4th ship out as long as I had it to the star level. They won't let you do it. You have to have it in that reinforcement slot in order to even go into the battle. So you can see my Xanadu Blood is not touched. It's unusable, it's gear 1, and it's level 1, and it's crap. But even with it there, I wanted to set the challenge of not calling in the reinforcement at all. So that's what I did. I wanted to see, is it possible to get through this event, at least through tier 6, with, air quotes, 3 of the bounty hunter ships, and not using all 4. And as you'll see, the answer is yes, you can do it. And by no means are the 3 ships that I'm using in this this attempt maxed out. They are not. Bossk is at gear 12, so obviously he is geared well, and his ship is upgraded very well also, but he's not gear 12 plus. He doesn't have extra gear pieces. He doesn't have all gold mods. Boba Fett and IG-88 are both gear 11, so not even close to being maxed. I don't have all the abilities on these ships maxed. Boba Fett's seismic charge, the blast wave explosion that does bonus damage directly to the enemy's health, isn't even maxed out. I mean, you could do a lot more to these ships to get them in better shape, and even with that said, I was still able to get through it with this. Now, I know gear 11 is no laughing matter. I'm not saying it's easy to do, but it's certainly possible. And if you're not purposefully handicapping yourself like I am by not even using the Xanadu Blood at all, if you've just got it leveled up and you've got your Cad Bane at gear 7 or 8, not a challenge, it's going to give you a lot more wiggle room to get through this because you'll have another body to soak up the hits. And as far as the approach for the battles go, they're all the same so far. Again, this is only up through tier 6. I don't know if there's a twist in tier 7 in the final battle. But you enter the battle and you get access to a special capital ship. You can pick whatever capital ship you want to enter the battle, but you get to use Darth Vader as the capital ship commander, and you get his Devastator. Now, functionally, it's very similar to the Executrix, which is Grand Moff Tarkin's capital ship. Very similar. The only difference, I think, is the reinforcement ability when you use a reinforcement with Vader, it removes the buffs on the enemy that you're targeting, which can be super useful if there's a taunt in the way of what you're trying to get after. Again, I wasn't able to take advantage of that because I was doing this without calling in a reinforcement. So when the battle starts, you've got the Millennium Falcon on the opponent's side, along with a B-Wing and a Y-Wing. Really cool. There's B-Wing and Y-Wing models and abilities in the game. Too bad we can't use them, mostly because ships and characters are tied together, and so who's going to be the B-Wing pilot and who's going to be the Y-Wing pilot? Even though there's probably 10 Y-Wing pilots we could name very quickly. B-Wings are a little more restricted, but man, please, for Ships 3.0, separate ships and pilots. We should be able to put any ship, any pilot in any ship, and just give some of them good synergy if it's a ship that they're trained in or proficient in, or that they flew in the canon. It's nonsense that in a Star Wars game we don't have a Y-Wing and we don't have a B-Wing or an A-Wing or any of these other things in the game. It's crazy, but again, I digress. So you're up against the Millennium Falcon, a B-Wing, and a Y-Wing. You're going to focus fire and try to remove as many guns on the enemy team as possible. The B-Wing actually is more fragile than the Y-Wing, at least that's what I found. So I like to go all in on the B-Wing first and eliminate it, and then go for the Y-Wing and start working on that. You can't really go after the Millennium Falcon because it puts the buff up, the Outmaneuver buff, and you're not able to target it until that buff is either gone or there's nothing else on the enemy team for you to target besides the Millennium Falcon. So you're usually able to burn down the B-Wing pretty quickly. Again, the bounty hunters do work well. If you get some breach going, you can have some synergy. You can throw some stuns out there with IG-88. And once the B-Wing's down, you can go for the Y-Wing. Now, the enemy Akbar will call in reinforcements, and I don't think there's any variety in the order. Every time I've seen it, or that I can remember, it's an A-Wing first, and then it is Wedge Antilles. And I would imagine if you get to the next reinforcement, it would be Biggs, but I'm not sure. So if somebody else has gotten that far in the reinforcement chain, feel free to let me know in the comments. But for me, if I'm getting that far, then my team is getting wiped out. I've either won the battle or completely lost it by that point. So again, you're just picking off one target at a time, throwing out as much damage as possible. Remember that because it's an Akbar lead, when the enemy assists, they're regenerating protection. So if you have something low and you can finish it, make sure you finish it. Don't go for the Vader ability where he gives you offense up if you have something on 5% health on the enemy team and they're going to take the next turn, because if they assist, that thing could be at 100% protection and you lost your chance to kill it. So use the AoE. You can splash something down if it's very low in hit points, or use one of the more direct attacks, single target attacks, if there's something that's at 10% health and you're trying to wipe it out. Don't let these things recover if you're trying to skate by here, because you don't really have health and protection regeneration other than on your Hounds Tooth, obviously, which generates lots of protection over time through the battle. So once I figured out this strategy, it was kind of just a matter of running it enough times until I got through it. The secret for my tier 6 battle, as you'll see, was to kind of get lucky with the Millennium Falcon not buffing itself. It did, when it had the turn where its Outmaneuver buff would expire, it did the AoE attack rather than the Outmaneuver buff itself. So then I was able to take out the Y-Wing, which was taunting, and then the Millennium Falcon was exposed, and I was able to burn it down without having to go through the other enemy there. I think it was the A-Wing first. So that was a little bit lucky, but I think I probably had that run in hand anyway. Things were going well. Just in terms of how much RNG, how much time that took, I think that was about my 10th run at the tier 6 level, and it was about 19-20 minutes to get through the entirety of the tier 6 event. So I actually did tier 5 the first time the event was here a couple months back, but I wasn't ready for tier 6, so now that it's here, I do have my tier 6 ready, so I did that battle. So the first time, tier 5, I don't think I upgraded my ships or my bounty hunters. If at all, it was very minimal, but I don't think I've touched them in the intervening 3 months, again, other than to star up the ships to 6 stars. And I think at tier 5, it was very straightforward. I think it took 2 or 3 retries to get through it at the tier 5 level without calling a reinforcement. A little bit tougher here at tier 6, but again, lots of room to upgrade these bounty hunter ships. So, and I think I'm using IG-2000. I think the Xanadu Blood is probably even better. So if you don't have these ships geared and you're getting them starred, pick one. Cad Bane is good, and his ship is good. So if you have to choose between one of the two, I would probably recommend that one over IG-88 and IG-2000 like I'm using. They're okay, but they're nothing special. So yes, you can get through it with 3 ships if you just want to focus and dedicate it, and you say, I've got my bounty hunter team, I don't need CAD and IG-88, and I don't want to gear up and waste both of them, and I don't want to star up both of their ships or level up both of their ships. Yeah, you can do it with 3, at least through tier 6, and we'll report back when the event returns. I should be ready by then for the tier 7 event, and we'll see if we can continue the trend and get through at the tier 7 event with just 3 ships. I think I will need to bump them up a little bit. Hopefully I'll have Boba Fett at gear 12 by then, but we'll see. That's going to be at least a couple months away. So wrapping up, yes, you can get through this event through tier 6 with just 3 of the bounty hunter ships significantly geared and usable in the battle while leaving one of them on your bench. So hopefully that helps you guys out in terms of planning your gear for this event, knowing what you need in order to get through it. The Millennium Falcon is really, really good, and man, I can't tell you how many grand arena matches it's won me. If ships is in play and I have the Millennium Falcon and the other team doesn't, they can't beat my ship. I put it on defense, they can't win, and it's kind of a free win, which is gross and disgusting, but that's how good this ship is. So do whatever you can to get it. Again, it's a little late this time around. The event is almost over, but get ready for next time. Get farming on those ships, especially with only 5 attempts a day. You really need to stay on it every single day. It might even be worth the refresh trying to do 10 a day because they're good. The ships are a good backup team, and the Millennium Falcon is part of the meta, so you need to get it. So that's going to wrap up the video. Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you next time.